Hey everybody, just want to remind you to support Project YM and your favorite YouTube channel, The Popish Plot,
and save yourself 10% off your favorite Catholic Balm Co. products
by shopping at Catholic Balm Co. That is CatholicBalm.co, and using the code PLOT2021 at your checkout to get that 10% off. Now on with the show.
Right.
All right.
Next question.
Question number 5.
Maybe something more geography.
Where do Catholic worship?
It's the internet. Not everything is proper grammar.
What you do is you put an S inside of parentheses here.
No, I'm sorry. I looked up where do Catholic...
Fair enough. Where do Catholic worship?
The one Catholic worships. Most worship happens in a parish church, but it can also happen in retreat centers, hospitals, old folks' homes, because the centerpiece of Catholic worship is the holy sacrifice of the Mass, and that can happen in any number of places. On occasion, it can even happen outdoors.
And
I do like the old pictures of, like, in the, I want to say World War II, where the priest is using
Jeeps?
the Jeep
yeah.
as the altar.
Oh, yeah. Those are great.
Because they're in the battle. This is what we have.
and at the same time, we should acknowledge that while that is the truest form of Catholic worship,
The highest form, yes.
or the highest form of Catholic worship,
Yeah.
It should also be noted that, you know, in the terms of in the words of the old Christian song that I grew up hearing, this is my Father's world. Realistically, where do Catholics worship? Anywhere they want. I mean, it would be better if you chose someplace that wasn't, you know, like inherently sinful. Like, I don't think you should be worshiping necessarily when you're at a strip club.
Well, you shouldn't be at a strip club in the first place.
Exactly.
But yes.
I mean, I have heard of outreach to the women who work
Sure.
there.
Realistically speaking, worship is, you know, just giving due praise and worship to God, and you can do that really anywhere. Mm-hmm. In a church is great. It's best in a church. Second best, I would say, would be in an adoration chapel. But I mean, realistically, if you are on a road trip, it's a heck of a good time to go and spend a little time worshiping.
You should regularly be worshiping in your home.
Yes.
You know, have religious images, have places where, as a family, you pray. Yeah.
And you could always be like, you know, the one time with Deacon, where because priests and deacons have to do the Liturgy of Hours, he shanghaied everyone across the table
Yeah.
in a dining room. I gotta do some praying. Okay. Oh wait, you met the office of readings.
Yep. I gotta get this done.
All right.
Hey, he's got obligations he's got to live up to, you know? Promises and such. Where do Catholic donations go? You know, that one actually really depends on where Catholic donations are given.
There's many different forms of donation. So if you give, let's just use the example of the Sunday collection.
Yes, which is probably what
It's
they're
probably
asking.
the one that they're referring to.
Yeah. So it goes in the back, and a couple of ushers will put it into the safe, and then on Monday or Tuesday, the ladies will come in and they'll count the money.
Yeah, the business manager. And
Yeah. And then eventually it'll go to the vault, and eventually it'll go to the bank. I'm presuming they're meaning less literally.
Yeah, I presume they mean less
I assume
literally.
they mean more the fact that the donations go to the heating, the cooling, the paying for people, when someone has a emergency situation,
Keeping the lights on.
Yeah.
Yes.
First and foremost,
Feeding the priest.
First and foremost, it's going to go to the operational. It's likely to go to the operational costs of the parish, taking care of those staff members who are full time and you know.
Yeah, so
due to receive their just
the worker deserves his wage.
compensation.
Yeah. So first you've got the employees of the parish.
Yep.
Then you've got the physical plant.
Yep. At some point in time, you're going to get parts that are getting broken out to go to those things that the church, in its corporate form, have gone and chosen to provide support to charities, things like that. You may also have. Maybe your church has a outreach program of its own where that it provides support to.
It is also important to note that every parish does pay some kind of tax to the diocese, so some of it goes to the local diocese.
Yeah. It's less of a tax and more of support to the bishop and all of his structures that help support the parish.
Yeah. I don't mean tax pejoratively. That's just how
that's how they refer to it.
Yeah, that's how I've heard it referred to on the pillar, and they're canonists. So
that's fair.
Now there are many different collections. If you receive envelopes at your parish, there's the standard ones, and then sometimes there'll be an extra supplemental one for flowers, or an extra supplemental for heating, or various different worldwide campaigns. One of the best known of which is Peter's Pence, which is the Pope's own charity. Yeah. That goes into an account that is controlled by the Holy Father, and then he donates it to various charitable causes around the world. Sometimes your donation goes to shady land deals in London, but it's okay because we have a criminal justice system, and that is currently working.
Yeah.
And really, the percent that goes, most of your parish goes to actually like keeping the lights on.
The majority of it goes to keeping the lights on in the building functional.
To keeping the 100-year-old roof from either falling on your heads or leaking like a sieve. Mm-hmm. And that fancy air conditioning system you have in your 100-year-old church, not that efficient. So a lot of it goes there.
Yep. All right.
Or you have a fancy air conditioning system in your church because that money went there. And finally, where do Catholic cardinals live? Really, that one goes kind of back for the most part to the first question. Generally, as a cardinal is a functioning bishop, they live in a rectory. Now, there are some cases where you have cardinals who are working at tasks other than the direct administration of a church or necessarily group of churches. So you might have them working on a school ground where they would be provided housing by the school. You're going to have some who live in Vatican City, and there's going to be housing for them there. Mm-hmm. But essentially, your cardinals are priests. So what applies to the priest primarily will apply to the cardinal.
Now, of course, sometimes the bishop will have a separate residence. Often this is a very simple house somewhere near the cathedral. Occasionally there have been examples of relatively ornate palaces, but that's mostly looked down on now.
So, what kind of questions do you have?
Although, maybe we should have made some kind of bird feeder joke about cardinals. But...
I kind of wanted to be near the bird feeder, but
Yeah. Oh, well.
In the pine tree.
They love pine trees.
They love pine trees.
I think the sap would ruin the silk, but no.
So, what questions might you have that you would like to see answered?
Either for singular Catholic or plural Catholics.
Yeah. Do you have any where questions that we didn't address? Do you have maybe questions of a different sort? Maybe one of the ones we've already done, like the hows and the whys and the whens?
Mm-hmm. When will then be now?
Soon.
Anyway, comment below with any of your questions you have about where random people within the church live. We will not be giving out home addresses. This is just a vague summary.
We will not dox anyone.
Yeah, no. While you're down there leaving a comment, make sure you hit the subscribe button, the bell next to it so you get notified when new episodes come out. And go ahead and give this episode a like, unless, of course, you think we need to step up our game, in which case, put that down in the comment as don't know. No thumbs down. Thumbs down are totally valid, except for the fact that they don't tell us what it is we need to do better.
Ooh.
So if you think that we could have done better with this episode, please go down and below in the comments and let us know what it is that we need to improve.
Please.
We appreciate your criticism.
Very much so. Well, mostly your constructive critiques.
Yes, constructive critiques. There are certain criticisms that we can totally do without, but mostly only because they are absolutely not functional in any way.
See our episode on comments.
Yes. And until next time, remember to live your faith.
Love your faith.
And share that love.